Cool. All right. Well, welcome anyone listening or watching out there. I'm excited for this game of the Great Soul Train Robbery here on the Gauntlet. My name's Rye. I will be your conductor. I use he, him pronouns. I'm going to give my brief obligatory blurb about the Gauntlet, and then we'll just kind of go around and everyone can introduce themselves real quick. The Gauntlet is an online gaming community where we focus on the OSR, indie games, story games, and we play a lot of playtests and have a lot of fun. So if you would like to come game with us, we would love that. Also, we have a Gauntlet community open gaming session coming up on Thursday, June 24th through Sunday, June 27th. So if you have been wanting to play with the Gauntlet and you haven't yet, please come and play with us. There will be lots of good games that weekend. Cool. Got that out of the way. Shane, do you want to introduce yourself first?
Yeah, sure. I'm Shane. I use she and her pronouns. I'm excited for this game. I don't really know anything about it, but I love the premise and excited to get into it.
Great. Chase?
I'm Chase. Any pronouns are good for me. I'm also very fresh for this game. I'm excited for this kind of theme and excited to see what kind of chaos we get into. Yeah.
All right. Awesome. Matthew?
Hello, I'm Matthew. I go by he, him pronouns. I've been in the Gauntlet for maybe a year to all time. Like it's just elastic for me in this quarantine, but it feels like it's been longer because my partner Jamie has been on the Gauntlet for maybe far longer than I have. So I've just been. My presence was prophesized by my walking back and forth behind them throughout the entirety of their playing in Gauntlet. But yeah, I don't know much about this game, but I've always had positive experiences playing with Rye, and I'm very, very happy to see Shane, Chase, and Danielle here today as well. Danielle and Chase, who I've played far less with. So yeah, yay!
All right. Danielle?
I'm Danielle. I use she, her pronouns, and I've been only playing with the Gauntlet since about January, but have been able to kind of dive in. And I actually have played this game a couple times. I really enjoy it, and I was really excited to see it on the Gauntlet. And also, there were people playing who've been on like my Gauntlet bucket list to play with. So like, I've always somehow missed Shane's games, which has been like on my to play list. And like, I've only just recently played with Matthew, which has been a delight. And I've seen Rye on Slack a lot, so I've been like, I've got to play with them. So this was just really an ideal setup to kind of dive into. So I'm excited about it.
Great. Well, I'm excited to play with you too. So, and I've played with Shane and Matthew quite a bit in the last 6 months, I would say. So, Chase, I'm excited to play with new people all the time. So it's one of my favorite things on the Gauntlet. So welcome, and I hope you all brought your 6-shooters and your vests and your trick cards, because that is the game we are playing today. We are playing The Great Soul Train Robbery by Alexi Sargent. Hopefully I'm saying that right. This is my second time running this, but I really enjoyed it the last time I ran it. I'd say it is pretty much what it is in the title. You are going to be desperados on a train to hell, and you are robbing it. And I'll get into like the specifics of all that in a second, and we'll go over tone and a few other things. But first, I just wanted to do our quick safety rules check-in here. There is a tab on the character keeper called Safety and Resources. If you click on there, there are lines and veils. I've added a few lines. There were a few on here that I kept. But if you would like to add any lines, please do so. And we will also have the I should explain what lines and veils are in case anyone isn't familiar with those. Lines are things that we will not have in play. So those are totally off limits, and veils will be something that we can have in play, but we'll probably fade to black on. So you'll see that sex is here under veils. So if any of you want to have sex during this game with an NPC or each other, whatever, we'll say you did it. Great. And I'll fade to black for that and move on. Thank you for adding in a couple here. So I'll just read those out loud real quick so that everyone is on the same page. For our lines, we have sexual violence, peril to pregnant women or infants, homophobia, racism, violence to children, cancer, transphobia, and fatphobia. And our veils will be sex and torture. I did want to also check in and make sure there is one of the cars I kind of planned out that was a new car in the zine that I hadn't seen before, was the animal transport car. So I just wanted to make sure there may be some demonic cows in here, but I don't plan on you slaughtering them all, but they may come after you. So I just wanted to check in on the animal front and make sure everyone's okay with something like that before we go forward. If not, I can totally swap it out. Okay, cool. The X card will be in play. Oh, it looks like we added one more line, medical injustice. All right. The X card will be in play. If there's any content that comes up that we didn't foresee, please go ahead and hold up your arms in X, or just say X card. If you see someone else hold up their arms and I haven't noticed or something because I'm on a different tab on my computer, and you can help them by letting me know, that would be great. You can also type in the chat, but sometimes I can't follow the chat in the moment. So please let me know though, and we will stop, back up. If you're okay to talk about the content, we'll talk about it. If not, we'll just back up and go in a totally different direction. Of course, the open door is also in effect here. So if at any time you have to leave for any reason, or you just don't feel comfortable in the game, please do so. If you can let us know why you're leaving, that's great, just so we don't worry about you. But if not, that's also okay. Okay, that is our safety tools. So I wanted to just go over the tone a little bit and get what you all want for the tone. When I played this last time, it got a little slapsticky. So I don't know if you want to be on the lighter side of cowboy adventures, kind of pulpy, or if you want to be a little darker and more serious, or both. Anybody have any?
I feel like it'll emerge as a natural consequence of the characters you create. Am I right?
Probably, likely.
Yeah.
If anybody is expecting a certain kind of game, I would like to give them a chance to just throw that out now.
I'm fine with either way.
Cool.
Yeah. It would be cool if there were like some dramatic moments, but I'm really open to however. Like I think can go whichever way.
Okay.
You know, Danielle's only been in one game with me, but I think, and Vi's been in several. But I think, you know, that I'll probably want to go with something more dramatic and serious, but at the same time not averse to this sort of like popcorny self-awareness. So yeah, let's go with that.
All right, excellent. So we will go to character creation now. If you flip over to the character keeper on the character page, go ahead and type your name in up at the top and claim a color. And then your job here is to click on each of those drop-down menus and choose one thing from each of them. So you will choose first your class. You are a sharpshooter, or you are a priest, or whatever that is, and there is something in parentheses, and that's what you're good at, and that will give you an extra die when you lean into that in the fiction. And then you have two things that you are motivated by, but also by, so you can choose those, and when you lean into those in the fiction, those will also give you an extra die. So if you choose greed or whatever those are, they will give you those extra dice. So let me know if you have any questions on that. It's pretty straightforward, but I've read the rules, so sometimes you think that and then it's not. So
What does fast playing under the fiddler thing mean? I don't know what fast playing is.
I think that's just like rocking out a bluegrass jam, just like super, probably on your fiddle. So
I like your onomatopoeias.
yeah, what's this? There's a famous fiddle song about the devil. I should put that in the thing for you all to listen to at some point. But
Went down to Georgia?
that's the one. Thank you.
Yes.
I think he was looking for a soul to steal, right?
I think the devil was, yes. I think in that one. I think like the fiddler sold their soul to the devil for the fiddle or something like that. I can't remember, but it's a good song.
If you can't decide, something that I love doing because they're all numbered is just rolling 3d6 and then having to choose from within those.
Yeah. Feel free to do that as well. That's what I did for several of the train cars. So.
Ooh.
I am thinking of being a sharpshooter. Does anyone else want to be a sharpshooter? Or I'm happy to.
I want to see you play a sharpshooter. I feel like in all the games that we've been in together before, I would probably end up being the sharpshooter. But now I want to see you do that. P.S. I'm listening to the opening theme song to Desperados, the movie, right now. Which we cannot play because, copyright.
And also think about a character name. I know that's always my hardest part, but that's something we can take care of right now too. All right. Getting close here, looks like. Dusty Valance. Excellent.
Nice.
All right, I think I'll give folks like 2 more minutes and then I'll start on kind of the basic rules and you guys can keep working on this a little bit while I go over those. They're pretty simple. There's like 3 of them. So, but take another minute to work on this and then we'll go over that.
Wow, everyone has cool names.
Daisy Chain.
It's so cool.
Antonio Furore. You'll have to pronounce the last name for me, otherwise I'll get it wrong.
Antonio Furore.
Furore. Yes.
Latin for rage.
Love a good Latin poll.
All right. Looks like, Matthew, if you just want to choose your motivated by and also by your motives, and then we'll be good to go.
Will it break the character keeper if I just paste an image in the instead of the URL?
No idea.
Okay.
I didn't make it, so you can try it.
You can always Control Z to back out.
Okay.
I think you can like right click on the cell too and maybe say insert an image. Something like that in Google Sheets. All right, so let me go over the basic rules here. And we'll go over these again in play as we get to the dice rolls and stuff, but just so you have a kind of a basic understanding of what your stats mean. So you have two stats. They're lover and sinner. They both begin at 3. You will use your lover to make human connections. This could be with each other. This could be with NPCs. This could be with demons or whatever we run into. But you use this to act with honor, to hold on to hope, to resist opportunities for vice, and for selfless acts. So this could also be like you're in a bad spot, you're holding on to your hope, you're just shooting away, desperately trying to stay alive. Sinner is do dirty deeds, act with brutality, lie through your teeth, resist pleas for mercy, and for selfish acts. So we can have a dialogue if we're not quite sure what your action falls into. Your stats are going to go up and down the more you use them, and I'll go over that in just a second. But basically what happens is you're going to roll 1d6, and you're trying to roll under the number that your stat is at. So if your stat is at 3, you're trying to get a 2 or a 1 as a success. A 3 would be the same number would be a success with a complication, so kind of PBTA-ish, and above the number would be a failure. So on a complication or failure, I'll specify the fallout. If you use your specialty, so Dusty Valance is a sharpshooter, and their specialty is trick shots. So if you lean into that trick shot for your roll, you get to add a second d6, you get 2d6, and you pick the lowest. You may also, if you see on the character sheet there is room for 3 scars. So you'll check a box to take a scar, but you can only take 3 for the entire game, maximum. But that scar will give you an extra die on that roll, and then we'll have you kind of detail what that scar is, and maybe you write that down in your notes, what that scar is. So that's the basic rolling of the dice. But then there are a couple little tweaks to that. So when you succeed on a roll, you shift a point to the stat that you rolled with. So if you rolled on Sinner and you succeeded, you would lower Lover by 1 and increase Sinner by 1. So every time you succeed on something, it's going to go up, and the other thing's going to go down. So they'll kind of go back and forth as we're playing. However, if either of your stats reaches 6, if your lover stat reaches 6, you are overcome by pity or compassion, and you make some kind of foolhardy last stand and lose. If your sinner stat ever reaches 6, you are damned. The train claims you for the long ride to Dis. All right, and then if you take 3 scars, you are broken, and you refuse to fight anymore, and you leap from the train or lie down and accept whatever fate befalls you. So those are kind of the 3 end games there. If either of your stats gets to 6, you're pretty much done, and if you take 3 scars, you're pretty much done as well. Now, if you're getting close, you're at like a 5, and you're getting nervous, you can use. There are 2 moves. You can use Descent. You can voluntarily move a point from Lover to Sinner by narrating a flashback showing how your vices led you to become a desperado, robbing the train for hell. Or you can use the Sacrifice move to move a point from Sinner to Lover by making some sort of costly sacrifice for another soul. So these are ways to kind of drive the fiction forward, but also kind of save you when you're getting up close to that 6. If you can't remember all that right now, that's fine. Just when you get to a 5 and you're like, oh, what was that thing where I can shift a stat? Just shout that out, and we'll go back over the rules for that. I think the rules are also on a tab in the character keeper somewhere. Yeah, they're on that basic rules page if you need to look at them. Okay, so that's pretty much all the rules for the game. So any questions about that? So just trying to roll under your stat is the main thing. All right, let's get this train on a rolling here. We got to do introductions. Sorry. So why don't we start with Chase? Will you introduce your character, Chase? Just tell us what your vices are and your class.
Sure thing. I'm playing Daisy Chain, the runaway bride. She's motivated by greed and by love.
All right. Daisy Chain, like who or what is it that you love? Who are you looking for there?
Daisy Chain had an arranged marriage to a man she did not want to marry. Instead, she was trying to run away with her girlfriend, Jasmine.
Right. All right. Great. Shane, will you introduce your character?
Sure. So Dusty Valance is a sharpshooter. Her specialty is trick shots. She's motivated by love, but also by revenge. Revenge against Sheriff Murphy, who's locked up her boyfriend, Hardcase Adam Brown. And she's going to use the proceeds of this robbery to free Hardcase and give the sheriff what's coming to him.
Excellent. Matthew.
Yeah, I am playing Antonio Ferrore. He was part of another gang, and they would go from town to town taking on bounties. And one day, a member of his crew betrayed the entire gang and got them all killed. So he is motivated by justice. He wants to avenge his gang by taking on. Still trying to come up with a name or NPC for that, but he's also driven by a death wish in the sense that he believes that he should have died with the rest of them, and yeah.
Tense.
What? And just to check in on that, Matthew, you are a Renegade Fury. So at some point, you're going to have to tell us what the Furies are. In the kind of rule book, they are a type of demon.
Oh, that's
so
great.
Just thought I'd throw that out there. You could have been a gang of demons, or you could have turned into a demon since or something happened. So think about that, and if you want to change it, let us know.
I will explore my options, but I will admit that your this revelation is only tantalizing more than it is a surprise.
Excellent. All right, Danielle.
I'm playing Esther Essie Banks. She goes by Essie because she doesn't like how girly Esther is. I think she's the oldest girl on a ranch in town, and so she's used to doing chores, kind of helping the family because her dad was killed in a shootout with a notorious outlaw of some kind. I haven't decided exactly who, but the prophecy that she's motivated by is her mom has the gun that was used in this, and it was like it's always been a thing, like if you can use this, if you can, she's tempted by wanting to kind of take on the mantle to be like this this outlaw sharpshooter person. So I think they that this outlaw is dead at this point, and so she's hoping to maybe she'll run into him on the way and get more information about the gun or about this mantle potentially that she could take on. But otherwise is here to this is the first kind of getting off of the farm sort of a thing for her, and so she's like, yeah, I'm gonna go rob the train to hell. Yeah, get me out of Dodge. Come on. These people look like ruffians. The capital R. Awesome.
Excellent. All right.
So I can redress my concept for you. The idea then is that the Furies, that they were all a pack of Furies, the people that Florida rolled with, and the idea is that they discovered that the relationship between the Soul Train, Hell, and all the cosmic forces that deal with the souls is a rigged game. And at that point, you've heard of the story of angels rebelling against God. Well, there are demons who rebelled against the Prince of Darkness, whatever you call him, Satan, in discovering that this is no Lord of Darkness. This is just a man who is in cahoots with the other guy upstairs. And yeah, so that's the thing.
All
And
right.
one of them wanted to return to the glory of his master and betrayed the gang.
Okay.
Ooh.
All right. Excellent. So, the four of you are on the train to hell. It is large. It is black. It is powerful. The steam is just churning out of the engine, and it is running through, at present, at least, a gigantic fallen city that is not of your world. It is a city of the netherworld, and it just goes on and on. There are skyscrapers, there are towers, there are alleyways that you pass, and bridges of rotting iron, and shattered glass, and just kind of a post-apocalyptic city that you're running through. And anytime the whistle sounds on the train, you can hear the screams of the damned echoing forth from the engine where they are being burned to power this monstrosity. Your prize, which you have all decided is worth your lives if you can get it, and maybe you are choosing to capture this and sell it to the highest bidder, or maybe you have your own motives for utilizing the prize if you can get to it, is a crate full of angel wings. And the legend is that if you have a pair of these angel wings, you will be able to sneak into heaven and save yourselves from the sins that you may have done in this life. So
Save myself. Why not just use those wings to confront, attack, and dethrone God?
well, small ambitions here.
I just wanted to insert the attack and dethrone God meme.
You know that this train is conducted by the Vulture Queen, and she rips souls from bodies and picks them bare of all of their humanity before finally swallowing them. And she is a formidable foe. But you also know that sometimes there are rumors that she has a weakness, and that she cannot stand the light of heaven. So the four of you find yourself in the caboose. The wheels are rattling underneath you. The train whistle is screaming. And at your feet are dead Furies. We don't have to go into how you killed them or why you killed them, but they are dead, and you are in the caboose of this train. I want to just check in real quick with a few of you here. I got to learn all your names here, though. But Essie, you ran away here onto this train, and I'm not sure you quite believe that it was the train to hell, but you definitely do know after seeing these Furies. Is this the first time you've killed something?
I think not. it's the first human-like thing. Like, she's shot horses that were lame before, and once, like, you know, things like out of necessity once or twice, and thought that she was very, you know, good with the gun. But I think she looks slightly green as she's seeing, you know, arms and like some recognizable human aspects. Yeah.
Okay, great. And Antonio, um, these are your kind. What do they look like as they're sprawled here on the floor? What if these furies that you laid to waste to board this train?
I think they all look like the minions, so to speak, or rather the it's just sort of like background furies are people who are shirtless and have red skin, and then parts of their physiognomy sort of take on an aspect unique to each of them, whether it's hands that look like the claws of a vulture, or a a vulpine head. All red though, but basically different aspects.
All right.
Maybe one has a flowing horse's mane. Yeah.
And are they all winged, or some of them wings?
All of them can grow wings, but it's like dependent on whether or not they were using them or plan to use them at the time. You know what I mean? Like they just manifest, but otherwise they can collapse back in.
Excellent. All right. Dusty, this is the first kind of show of violence here from your gang of desperados, and you are obviously familiar with guns. You are familiar with violence. After seeing how everyone conducted themselves, which of your fellow desperados are you the happiest to have at your side, and which ones do you have doubts about?
Oh my god. Well, look, I mean, I'm definitely happy to see that Essie could handle a gun. Some people just don't have it in them when it comes down to it to pull the trigger. So, now I'm happy to see it wasn't a total waste to bring you along.
Yeah, that's great. That's great.
Antonio, I think, like, maybe I had some doubts as well. I was worried that Antonio wouldn't be able to pull the trigger on a fellow Fury when it really came down to it. So, again, happy to see that he has really come through. But that must mean that I have some doubts about Daisy Chain. I just think that sometimes Daisy promises more than she can deliver.
Oh, rough. Okay. Daisy, as you're standing here on this train, you're motivated by Jasmine. Do you have any doubts now that you're here and you see what you're doing? Is this worth kind of running away from this? Like, maybe it was better to just get married to somebody instead of risk your soul on this train. Are you having second thoughts?
Not about getting the money, but maybe not quite thinking that all of these demons are going to be this much of a problem. I think Daisy's thing is not killing, more likely stealing, but I think she's just now thinking, oh God, no, I've got to kill things, and is looking towards everybody else, wondering, is her soul even going to be worth it by the end of this trip for Jasmine?
Oh, okay. That's a good question. Yeah. All right. So you're in the caboose, and ahead of you are those kind of double train doors, and you got to go through the cars to get to the front where the Vulture Queen is likely waiting, driving the train to get those angel wings. Who's going to take the lead and kind of throw open the doors to the next compartment? Is anyone feeling brave?
I think I gestured to Daisy, like, go on. I want to see if she's going to come through.
Daisy's gonna be surprised and shocked. I don't know how to work a gun like y'all do.
Betsy just sort of shrugs and is like, it's okay. We got enough here with guns. If you're good with stealing, we need that too. And also, what if there's like polite company in the other car? It'd be good to have someone who didn't have a gun lead in the front.
I suppose. And very shakily, she's gonna go over to the door. You know, I'm not even sure if I know how to operate this thing. And just slowly but surely opens the door.
And as you do, it's like the kind of older style cars where it's not like encased with those like rubber things that kind of move the train. It's just like open to the air. So the swirling air from this decaying city comes rushing into the car, and I think you get kind of whiffs of like broken down industrial waste, kind of that burning smell, and I think you get kind of the smell of also just like a damp rotting kind of smell kind of creeps in, and you can see as just flashing by these giant glass towers that are shattered out the thing, and looking down, you're up on this giant iron trestle like 200 feet off the ground, just like hurtling along. So there's also like the heights thing here between you and the next car. There's like a little step to get across, but there's also that little gap.
Death grip on the little thingy and like tap to the other side. I'm making my way through. Don't worry, y'all. I'm just gonna like very slowly step over and make it to the other side and compose herself, act like she wasn't scared for her life 3 seconds ago, and keep leading the way.
You open the next door, and you almost get like whiplash to your senses by the difference of kind of the stark apocalypse outside, and then just in here, everything is just coated in red velvet. There's gold everywhere. There's a long bar kind of running down one side of the room. There's like 4 or 5 tables on the other side. It's much bigger on the inside, of course, than the outside. And there are these little red imps kind of flying away around with gold trays and bubbling drinks. And there are various demons sitting at a couple of tables. And there's plenty of humans in there as well. Some are enjoying themselves. In one corner, there's a very elderly lady in a gold wheelchair with a big, like a little white lap dog, and she's kind of petting it. And there's this huge kind of demon bartender behind the bar, and gigantic wings. You don't even know how it can turn around back there, but it's just very adeptly like reaching over and grabbing this little crystal thing and pouring drinks. What do you do? And actually, more importantly, what are you wearing?
I think Daisy's wearing kind of more of like a fancy like leather jacket, like with the frill lace on the inside, and like she's got the tan dress that goes to her like just below her knees with the petticoat underneath kind of thing, and she's got nice boots on. Like she looks way too nice to be stealing anything from a train, to be honest. But she's gonna look around, and the best person in this kind of situation who knows information in and out, somebody who works a bar. So she's gonna walk over to big wing demon person, and hiding her light hands in her skirts in fear of shaking.
Oh, you're muted, Bri.
Checking in with the rest of you, you see Daisy timidly, but then all of a sudden kind of gets her composure together and just disappears into the other door. Antonio, what do you do? you're muted, Matthew.
So Daisy's at the bar.
You saw her go through the double doors. You're in the caboose, and she was like terrified crossing over, and then she stepped in through the other one, and the doors, they're on those automatic things, so after a while they kind of shut.
Yeah. I'm
You
wondering.
follow?
Well, I'm wondering. So the train is moving, right? Are we in any immediate danger or suspicion?
Not that you know of. You seem to have taken down these Furies without raising the alarm.
All right. So I think what Antonio does is he climbs out the window and tries to sort of like assume a stealth position where he can get an overwatch, like kind of not overwatch. That's not the right word, but make sure that he can reconnoiter and see if there are any threats along the windows or above the train.
You are you going up on the roof, or are you kind of like creeping along the side to look in the windows, or?
I think creeping along the sides of the windows is my first step. So let's go with that.
Why don't you give me a roll?
All right. What am I rolling with?
I think this is kind of stealthy. So probably this goes under Sinner.
All right. Let's see. Could have sworn I had a dice roller open, but I think I accidentally closed it. Anyway, here we go. Little LED friendly pocket tool screen.
I love how he's like.
Sorry, you were saying, Chase?
Oh no, I'm just saying I love how his first, like, for my first step, I will climb out the window over as my opening move.
Yeah,
We're rocketing through hell. If I fall, I'll probably die forever.
I mean, this is Fury Town, so I'm sure. Yeah, what's the worst gonna happen? How do I roll stealth? How do I roll Sinner? Right, you said Sinner.
So you'd roll 1d6, and then you're not using your specialty, which is punishment. But you could be leaning into your death wish since you're climbing outside a moving train. So you can have 2d6 for this.
Let's do it. It is a 6 grand total.
So you just take the lowest.
All right, so that's 2 under a 3, I take it?
Yeah, so you just make it.
All right.
So you climb around and you are able to peek in the windows. And you see Daisy stepping up to the bar and engaging with this demon bartender in there. And you luckily also hear on the roof above you some footsteps and the sound of scraping claws as you kind of peek up over, and you see that there is a Pinkerton, which is kind of like a hired gun, walking back and forth along the top of this car with a hellhound on a leash.
Ooh.
Dusty, what do you do?
I mean, firstly, I just look at Antonio going out the window and then just turn to Essie like, the hell is he doing now? And then I just head on into the next carriage after Daisy.
Okay. What are you wearing?
Well, I think that I'm wearing like a gingham pinafore with a dusty bandana tied around my neck. Probably like a leather jacket, like brown suede jacket with lots of fringing, and black leather boots with big spurs on them. She's left her horse outside somewhere.
Not fancy, kind of like utilitarian mostly. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely not like dressed for high society or anything.
Okay. So I think
she's concealing a number of firearms. In that on
Nice.
So you step in, and one of the little red imps comes fluttering up towards you, and it goes, "Is there a problem, Pinkerton? It has mistaken you for one of the guards that have been hired to watch the train."
Look, I've heard some fighting words in my time, but thinking that I'm a Pinkerton, I shoot it.
Be right back to that. Essie,
Yes.
you see Dusty step inside. An imp comes up, and the revolver is pulling out. Do you do anything?
I think Essie is wearing like a heavy leather jacket that has some fringe on it that kind of looks like, you know, probably her dad's jacket, and is like has a gun under there, and she's like looking at the window. She's looking at this situation. She's looking out the window. She's looking at the situation, and I think she would like in the spur of the moment, she's like everything has escalated so quickly at this point, but I think she would sneak to since her specialty is sneak attacks, and clearly like Dusty has them on like the back foot, obviously. I think she would try and assist, like if that's possible. Like I don't know exactly what has happened with that situation yet, but I think she would like run up to kind of like get it from behind or something, like, or if it didn't like land, or if it was still alive, or technically she would probably be on the lookout to see who else has leapt up to address this, and would be like trying to basically kind of get behind somebody to like whack them with the back of her gun kind of thing, see if she could drop someone who was like coming up to address this.
Excellent. Okay.
So many things are happening so much right now.
So I want to go back to Daisy before the shot rings out real quick here. And Daisy, you have a moment here where you just the long bar, the bartender kind of leans down, this very genteel smile on its face, and it says, "What can I get you, miss? What would you like to forget?"
Well, feller, I was just wondering. You see, I don't think I'm in the right car, and I have left my lovely old purse with the money that I could be used to tip you with, in such a storage-like area. And I was just wondering if you could just pretty please point me in the correct old direction. Then I would very much appreciate and come back to order that good old drink that I love to, drink.
This one is on the house, but perhaps it is in the next car forward. You'll find a passenger berth there. I'm surprised you got turned around so easily. And at this point, I think we hear a gunshot. So, Dusty, go ahead and give me a roll. I think it probably...
So if you just want me to go ahead with like my first thought, I will. But I want to like slightly change what I was thinking of doing, and maybe take a shot that's intended to like intimidate rather than like kill this little imp. Okay. So I pull my gun. I bounce the bullet off the golden wheelchair and the rail of the bar, and a few other fixtures, and then just graze the top of the imp's head before the bullet finally like shoots down out the window. Or at least that's what I'm going to try and do.
Fantastic. So I think that's 2d6.
Yeah, I think so.
And hopefully the bullet bounces around it, in mid-sentence. Like the imp is just going blah blah.
Yeah,
that's bad.
Okay. So tell me. 1 second. You guys had such wonderful backstories. I have to get some of this in here.
Oh, in case you didn't have enough on your plate, I have to remind you that I found a name for the traitor. His name is Jackie Lupino. So let us officially call him the traitor Jackie Lupino. Much like there's a coward Robert Ford.
Great. Who does the bullet hit? Who steps in front of your trick shot right before it hits the imp? Not one of your folks, but someone in the bar.
Yeah. I'm not sure. Chase, tell me if this is too much. I'm happy to go in another direction. But I think it's Daisy's grandmother.
Oh, that's fine with me. Maybe she arranged my whole marriage.
Okay, so Daisy, you are handed your drink. A shot goes off. You spin around with the drink in your hand. You see your grandmother coming up to talk to you, and this bullet just hits her right in the stomach.
Grandma, no, Mimo.
What do you do, Daisy?
Immediately run over to Grandma's side and put the pretty handkerchief that's literally not gonna soak up anything onto her stomach and putting pressure. Mima, please, it's not your time yet. What are you doing? Actually, what are you doing on this train, Mima? No, I want to try and keep her from passing out and stabilize her by putting pressure on her wound.
So she looks at you. Her face is even grayer than usual, and you can, she's got the big mole there with the whiskers kind of sticking out, and that you always hated as a child when she would rap you on your knuckles for doing something bad. She says, "Daisy, what the hell are you doing here? I tried to do everything to make sure you learned the good books so you wouldn't end up in this place like the rest of us."
Oh, people. You did teach me. But did you teach me right, Mima? Did you teach me right?
I tried. And she starts to pass out. Antonio, you see this chaos going on inside this car, and you see standing up from a table in the back, there was a bunch of kind of furies at a table gambling. Good old Jackie Lupino stands up, and he's like, "You just gonna come in here and start shooting people? Well, then let's get it on, cowgirl." What are you gonna do, Antonio? He's about to draw on Dusty.
Okay. I guess at that point, Antonio will have to reach through the window and try to yank Jackie against the wall, if not through the window.
Fantastic. Let's resolve this, and then I want to get to figure out what's going on with the imp and Essie, and then we'll take a quick break. So, Antonio, let's see, what can we add on here? I think this goes your punishment, so 2d6.
Yeah. Let's see, 2d6.
Oh, and Dusty, make sure you. Oh no, you didn't succeed, so I think you don't shift something. Yeah.
Does this count as motivated by justice or not?
Sure, yeah, you can have 3d6. Just one warning. If you ever roll 3 6s on 3d6 when you're rolling 3 dice, the conductor immediately shows up and claims your soul.
No problem. Let's do it. This is going to be fun. I love it. 666.
Over.
I hope I roll a 665 because I got a line ready for that. No, I don't. I hope I don't roll 665. What am I talking about? Let's do it. Okay. 3, 4, and 5.
Okay. So 3 ties, so you will do it, but I get to add a complication.
No problem. Yes.
So tell me, what's this look like as you smash and sorry, what was his name?
Traitor Jackie Lupino.
Jackie. Yeah, as Lupino, as you rip him out of the car.
I don't know what your vision is for Furies in this world, but let's just say that as far as drama allows it, the arm stretches through and sort of like morphs. I guess you could say Venom style, okay? And reaches over for Jackie and just wraps just tendrils around him. And I think Jackie will respond accordingly since he too is a Fury. And he's just sort of like spinning around as well and pull him against the wall, sort of like banging and thrashing him. And there's some resistance, so you'll see tables get knocked over, glasses get spilled, all that stuff.
Excellent. So you smash Jackie into the wall, and you can feel bones crunching, and you're like, this is the revenge you've wanted. And that's when you hear a revolver click above you, and you look up and you see two red eyes and this mouth just drooling with fire staring down at you from the hellhound on the ceiling. Essie, things have escalated, haven't they now? What would you like to do? I would like to note that there's lots of wealth in this car. There are people with money. There are coin purses around, just in case you're so interested.
Okay.
In this chaos to take advantage. But feel free to do whatever you want. I just want to point that out.
That is super cool. I think especially seeing the shot go off and like not hit the right thing, I think she's running up behind the imp and wants to like take the butt of take the butt of her gun and like whack it on the back of the head to see if she can like knock it out. Because like, yeah, and I think in her mind she's like, whoa, this is what a sharpshooter does, man. We gotta gotta be quicker on the draw, I guess. Gotta be ready at any time to just shoot people. Yeah. So would that be sneaking if I'm sneaking it behind?
Yeah.
So would that be 2d6?
2d6.
Let's. Yay! I'm never excited to roll a 1, but.
All right, tell me what you do to this imp. What's this look like?
I think what is the imp's reaction to being shot or not? Like, does it have a microsecond reaction?
It like sees the gun come out, expects it to point like right at it, and so it's like first tries to like dodge to the side, and then it sees the Dusty just like pointed over in the corner, and it spins around to see where the bullet's coming from. And Dusty was like hoping that because it was going to come back and like wing it right in the forehead, right? But it didn't work out that way. So it's just like, excuse me, miss, what are you doing?
And I think right in the middle of like the what, it kind of like freezes and then sort of like falls to the ground, and you see Esther there holding the thing like, I'm going to get better at using the front part of this, but are you okay? That is.
Dusty just looks embarrassed. Like red-faced. Her first big trick shot in front of her new friends, and look what's happened.
I think Esther, like what you register from her is like she thinks that this is like just how it's kind of supposed to happen. Like she does not really register that it's not totally gone all wrong. She's just like, yeah, this is what a real sharpshooter does. You just got to pull it out, and like people get in the way. like as far as she can tell, this has gone off totally normally.
Oh, well, so I like pick that up from you, then I'm going to be like, okay, I took out that evil grandma thing. Now let's get moving out of here. And then
I totally had not even spotted her, and you just, bam.
Yeah.
Right in the
stomach. And then I'm going to run over to Daisy like, okay, somebody's shooting at us. We got to get out of here before they get another shot. And then just try and like hustle Daisy out before she
Daisy's
realizes
gonna
that
be
was me.
like, look up at Dusty with like, not really fear in her eyes, but panic, and she'd be like, "Okay, just give me 1 minute. I'm so sorry." I would literally start pulling rings off of Grandma's fingers, and like, "I'm so sorry. I can't help you. I'm so sorry." And start taking her necklace off. Like, she doesn't need this.
And I think she's like trying to kind of like fight you off a little bit. Like,
Mommy,
this is
you
all I
can't
got.
help.
This is all I got.
Just go to sleep, Prepper,
You
please.
don't know what I had to do to get these. Ah. All right, I think her eyes close, and we see all of you running. Well, the three of you inside, we see tailing it to the exit as the rest of the car and the giant bartender are starting to get their wits about them as this chaos has broken out, and there's going to be hell to pay shortly.
As we're running out, I think Essie might like scan the room briefly. Like, didn't we come in here with more people? Like, I think she might look out the window. Like,
Okay.
just because like I think she saw that Antonio had jumped out the window right when Dusty was about to shoot something. But if that doesn't work for like fictionally, that's cool. But I feel like Dusty and Daisy are leading the charge, and Esther may do like a quick 180. Like, what?
Okay, I think you look out the window and you see Antonio looking up, and his face is kind of silhouetted in flickering firelight, like he's looking into a campfire or something beautiful. But there's a look of terror on Antonio's face, and we'll come back there. But I want to give us a quick 10-minute break since we've already been going for an hour. So come back at 15 after. Is that long enough? Like 8 minutes or so? Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
Oh, right. I didn't know if I could alter a tiny bit of the backstory to make it more clear. I think that the because it was still like a spinning up. I think that the gun that she carries is her dad. That he had heard it's supposed to always shoot true, but like it clearly failed him in this shootout with this notorious bad guy. And so I think it's more like a point of confusion, and she wants to know, like, if this always does this, is it depending on who's holding it, who's shooting it? Can I, live up to this thing, etc. I figure.
Okay. I'll try to work some of that in.
And if not, I'm sure she'll figure it out by just getting to. She's off the farm and like using robbing things. Like this is great no matter what goes down.
Mom is still alive?
Yeah. Cool. I think Mom is like running the homestead back home.
Okay, cool.
Matthew, that music is so perfect. I just put it on in the background. It's just cycling through. No.
Yeah, it's a supernatural Western. You could try looking up other Western music like Red Dead or stuff like that, but this game has like a demonic angle to it, and so.
Oh. There was a Forged in the Dark Weird West game that somebody just shared in my home group Discord, and one of our players lives in Texas, and like his favorite movie is The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, and just like loves Westerns and has been looking for a great Western game. It was called what was it? I'll have to find the name. I think it was just on itch that they found it.
Ooh, yeah. I'm aware Savage Worlds has one, but that's a very, very like trad system.
Yeah, it's called A Fistful of Darkness. And it's
shit, that's a great name.
Right? It's a Blades in the Dark hack. So I'll just have to drop the link to it. I've only ever just briefly in a Blades game, so I'm not super familiar with the system, but it looks evocative.
I enjoy it. I'll have to check that out. So,
Shane, I've been low key tempting my partner. I've been telling them I have this idea, even though I don't make games. I have this idea of a game that's sort of like an anime-inspired version of Invincible Sword Princess meets Take My Revolution, and it's called Before My Body Is Dry, from the theme song to Kill la Kill. And when I mentioned that last night, Jamie was like, "You shut up," because like then they'll start designing at like 2:00 in the morning, and then they'll rightfully be enraged with me.
Sorry, doggos took a little bit longer to go outside.
No worries. All right, Essie, you see through the gilded window, the leaded pane, this flickering face of Antonio with terror in their eyes. What do you do?
So she can see like a glow, like a reflection coming down from what appears to be like above him, right?
It looks like he's looking up into a torch.
Okay.
Someone's waving a torch in his face.
I think she looks at it and her face kind of goes quiet, and she strides over, and you hear her murmur something like, "Always shoot true," and she pulls out her gun and fires through the ceiling right above, approximately under whatever she can gauge is right above him.
Okay. I think this might be a lover role, since you're trying to take care of one of your teammates here.
Okay. I bumped up my stat from before because I forgot to say which one I was rolling with, but since I was also assisting Dusty, it felt like a lover roll, so I just upped to that. Okay. Would this count as sneak since they can't see me? Because I'm
Sure.
under the ceiling? Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh, one is precisely a 4.
Okay, so you fire up, and Antonio, from outside, what you see is the Pinkerton is there with the leash around the dog, just about aiming his pistol right down at you, and all of a sudden a bullet like whizzes up, catches him right in the chin, and he just goes flying back. And then, but he lets go of the leash for the dog. Do you wish? And Essie's complication is coming in a second, so this is not Essie's complication. That's coming up right in a second. The dog's going to lunge at you. Do you want to try to jump out of the way and let go of? Oh man, I forgot the name again. Jackie again inside. You'll have to let go to get out of the way. You can do that, or you can try to fight, like knock this dog away as it jumps on you. And hold on to Jackie. Which one do you want to do?
Tough call, but unfortunately, I will stay true to my to my cause.
So you're gonna hold on to Jackie?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mistakes were made.
So this hellhound just lunges at you with full open mouth. What do? It's gonna like try to rip your head off.
I guess what I'll try to do is to move faster by yanking Jackie through the window in the hopes that I can cast him down, and like roll to the side of the cart. And then just hang on like that. So that is a sinner roll.
Yeah, let's do sinner again.
And if I understood the rules correctly, as Danielle was telling me, because I rolled successfully on Sinner last time, the number went up.
Yes, and your lever should go down.
The lever should go down. All
so
right.
You should have a total of 6 points in your scores at all time.
Got it. All right, now I'm rolling my Sinner roll. That is trying to pursue my goals to the detriment of my life. I guess that counts as a death wish. It is not Renegade Fury, absolutely, but I guess it still counts as justice.
You're still trying to pull out this justice on Jackie here, and you're just not letting go of that. So I'll give you 2 dice.
All right, no problem.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's do that. I'll be honest. I'll be tickled pink if I roll 3 6s.
All right, you got a 1. So tell me what you do to this hellhound.
I think is that a very good success?
Yes. You
then
successfully fight off this hellhound. Tell me what that looks like.
I think what happens is the hellhound lunges, and I sort of loosen or tighten the muscles in my arm so that when it gets its jaws gripped around, it cannot sink or pierce its teeth through. And with that, pull Jackie over and sick the hound on him, and then take myself to safety onto the back of the next cart.
Okay. And do you let them both fall? Like this hound is like chomped onto Jackie and they just like tumble down into the city and crashed below?
Ideally.
Cool.
Let the traitorous little wolf be taken down by the hounds of hell.
Excellent.
And cast into the fiery abyss.
Okay. Awesome. Essie, you shot your gun and you're getting ready to put it back in the holster and turn and run, and you see everyone kind of in the car kind of stare at you, and the bartender goes, "Not that gun," and they're all like backing away from you, and then you hear inside your head a little voice going, "Yeah, they're all terrified of me. That's right. You're fucking scared, bitches." And your gun is now talking to you.
Oh, okay. I love it. Awesome. Yeah, I think she looks slightly unnerved, but yeah, as she's holstering it is like okay, and is mentally kind of just like poking, just like hello, okay. I'm Essie. Do you have a name?
Each one of you tends to name me something different, so you let me know when you got a good name for me. All right, Toots?
Okay, awesome. And like mental salute.
Yeah, and I think the gun is definitely slightly sexist, so watch out for that.
Okay,
If
that makes
that's
sense.
okay with everyone. I don't think it's one of our veils, but if that's not cool, I'm happy to roll that back too. Daisy, you and Dusty are the first two into the next car, and you jump across between the cars just as Antonio comes swinging around the side. You jump into the next car, and you went from this beautiful opulence, and now you're standing in like what can kind of be described as like an icy hell. There are like you don't understand how these cars do this, but it's just so long, first of all, and there's got to be like 30 operating tables on both sides. They're not like operating, like people aren't being cut open. They're more like a dentist chair type of thing where like people are just kind of laid back. And the thing is that like the people aren't really people anymore. They are kind of turning into ice demons. And you can see they've got like little IVs of this blue fluid that's kind of dripping down. And there is a woman walking towards, well, actually, there is a creature walking towards you, Daisy and Dusty. Daisy, describe to me what the most like hot, sexy person would look like to Daisy, besides Jasmine.
Besides Jasmine, I suppose somebody who's got some muscle on them. Some strong arms to pick Daisy up and carry her wherever she needs to be. It's the buff arms that gets Daisy.
Okay.
Buff arms and shoulder, that wingspan when those arms lift, that's Daisy's thing.
All right. And Dusty, this creature looks totally different to you. What does it look like to you, Dusty? It's just so ungodly attractive.
What is Dusty's type?
What is?
I think it looks almost exactly like Sheriff Murphy, the hated lawman who Dusty has sworn vengeance against.
But who is also hot, I guess, or there's something about it.
Dusty has certainly never admitted to herself that Sheriff Murphy is hot.
It's just, is it the uniform? Is it the star? We don't know. That's all right. Anyway, this creature comes walking towards you, and they say in this voice that just like hits all your senses, like just oh, it just goes right to you. They're like, what's wrong? What can I do for you? You don't have to be in so much pain. Just tell me what it is and I'll make it better. And Daisy, tell me what the words are that you most regret saying in your life.
I think her most regretful thing is having an argument with Jasmine for her to leave the country without her, because she thinks it would be better for her than having to deal with all of Daisy's drama.
Okay. And were there like 2 or 3 words that Daisy said that she regrets?
Oh yeah, it's like the last like big phrase would be like, "You're not needed here anyway."
Okay. Dusty, you look over at Daisy, and as she's breathing, those words are just writing themselves in her frosty breath in the air. And the creature is just reaching out and being like, I know you feel so much pain about that, Daisy. It's okay. We can make it go away. Dusty, what do you regret most? What did you say that you regret?
I mean, I guess just like the word was just no, but it was something intimate between me and Hardcase Adam Brown, and that was the last time I saw him. He sort of stormed off after I declined, and well, I haven't seen him since.
Oh. And she just looks into your eyes and she says, I can make it go away. I can make it go away. And she reaches out and she pulls your no out of the air, and you feel the sadness start to leave your heart. And she takes you by the hand and starts leading you towards one of those a pair of empty chairs in the middle of the car. Daisy, what do? Do you let her, or let this thing lead you back?
No, because my purse is still in that car, and I need to get those wings. Because I may have said those things to Jasmine, but the only way I'm getting her back is getting that money.
Excellent.
Daisy's gonna literally, physically try and pull Dusty through this mess.
Okay, excellent. So you start pulling Dusty away from this creature, and as you're kind of pulling along, you trip over something, and you see that one of these people that's laying there and is almost completely turned into this just like ice person / monster looking creature with like horns and icicles protruding in weird places. Its hand is kind of hanging down off the chair, and laying there is a Bible. And you notice that there's a bullet hole right in the cover of the Bible. And there's also a rosary kind of marking a page.
Mima's lessons are coming on in. I grabbed this Bible. I may not be able to fill in all the exact words, but I'm gonna find me a line or two that I can read. So flipping through the page, and I take the rosary, and I'm like, "Be gone, you thought demon!"
Okay, all right. Roll. Do you feel like this is? Are you acting? You're not really acting a love, but do you feel like this would be more of a lover or a sinner role here?
I think I'm trying to get Dusty through to get to the money, so I definitely feel more towards greed for this.
Excellent.
So I roll 2d6s, and then I want lower, right?
Yeah.
Okie dokie. I rolled a 2 as my lowest.
All right, that'll do it.
Whew.
So this creature kind of is repelled. What verse do you read out of the Bible, or if you want to?
Yo, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I think this is death. I will fear no evil, Damon.
It's a little hard to read. You stuttered over that because that's where the bullet hole is, right in that line.
Right. Yeah.
And you notice that the lead from the bullet is actually smashed into the back cover, which seems to have a metal plate in it for some reason. But on the back of that bullet is a cross. There's a cross carved in the back of that bullet too. But this creature kind of is repelled back away from you, and you two can safely make it through this to the other end of this carriage if you'd like. But as you are kind of backing away, you see Antonio and Essie step into the carriage as well. And Antonio, I want to know what this kind of creature, it's smoky kind of essence for a second, and then it quickly spins around, and it's just like, I can take your pain away. And it comes towards you. And it's the most beautiful thing you've ever seen. What does it look like?
It looks like an actual angel.
Oh.
Okay. Excellent. And Essie?
I think it looks like. It looks like her dad turning around and like seeing her again, and just been like, where have you been? I've been waiting for you. But he also has an expression on his face like he's just like really proud of her.
You're muted. I said you were muted while I was muted.
Classic. All right. Essie, as your dad approaches you, what words do we see hanging in the air between you as your breath comes out at the shock of seeing him again? What did you regret?
I think you just see her. You see like the words are, fine, just go, you don't care about us anyway, which is what she yelled at him when he was going off to town to take care of some business. And he would do that sometimes, and sometimes he'd be at the saloon, and sometimes other stuff would happen, but this was that particular time.
So the creature just kind of wraps those letters around its fingers, and he steps forward and he's like, I hurt you bad, Essie. I'm sorry. Now you carry that gun. You'll know soon the weight.
You should have told us. I could have helped. We could have helped you with it or something. I just and she's sort of stuck looking at the gun and looking at him, and just looks kind of like frozen in that moment. Like, I don't think she will do anything to him.
Okay. And he says, it's okay. I forgive you. And you can feel the pain starting to leach away as the words are wrapped around the creature's fingers. Antonio, this angel steps up to you and is kind of in your head, and it says, one of ours coming back to us. And what words do we see there?
What words do we see there?
Yeah, what words do you most regret saying in your life?
What words does Antonio regret? You know what? Let's bind the cosmology of this world. So, first of all, I just want to take the liberty of saying that to me, the angels they're like a beam or a ball of pure light, and then there are plates of metal that float around it that give it a vaguely humanoid shape, and it is from there that the wings come out, and it's sort of like a light homunculus kind of creature, and Antonio considers them to be the most beautiful thing he has ever seen, and has always wanted to know what it is like to be loved by such a creature who to receive that kind of love that they have for God. And I think what Antonio regrets the most is rebuking an angel a long time ago who asked him to lay down his arms and ascend as a demon to become one with like heaven's army. But he viewed God so corrupt that he could not accept that. And that is why he remained a demon. And that is why he plots The overthrow of the Lord.
All right. So you can just feel it. Like, it doesn't even say anything really. You just feel it like warming your heart, and it just wants to embrace you. And it says, "I can make all that pain and suffering go away, Antonio. Come, stay with me here."
I think Antonio is incredibly tempted, and I don't know where you're going to take the narrative with this, but I think he chooses to hold the angel.
Great. So, Dusty and Daisy, you two are at the other end of the car. You've made it past this creature, and you turn around and you see your two companions, and there's just this kind of like, you kind of banished it down there, and what you actually see now that you've broken its kind of enchantment on you is that it's just this kind of gray swirl of ash, and you can see it's just like going in their nostrils and like coating their eyes and going in their ears, and it's also like starting to cause like a rime of cold to like creep over their skin as they're like conversing with it. What do you do, Daisy? Antonio for sure is like deep in this. He's like, you just see this look. It's the only time you've ever seen their face when it wasn't like contorted in a snarl of kind of his demonic rage, I think.
I think Daisy's going to reach for that cross, and she's going to do what Mima taught her in regards to a kind of pseudo across the chest, up forehead symbolism, and she's like, the Lord, the Son, and the Father, and then throw the cross at the demon.
All right.
I rebuke thee.
Great. Dusty, are you going to do anything here as well?
I don't know. I think I'm pretty torn. Like, I still think that it might be nice to climb into one of those chairs. So,
are you like fingering like checking out the leather because it's comfortable? It's smooth.
Yeah. I think that's the vibe.
Okay, excellent. All right, so Daisy, let's see what effect your thrown chain cross has here.
Okay, so I feel like this is like saving like somebody, like trying to risk saving them, because she really needs to save two people. She only needs one other person, but she will save.
Okay.
Oh wait, you have a 2 lever. Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm not. I was looking like this is like your love is for Jasmine. I don't know if your greed totally comes in here. Do you want to take a scar for an extra die?
Yeah, why not?
Okay, cool. So check a box, and then in your notes, like, tell us what this scar is. Like, is this just like the thoughts of Mima, or what is this?
Yeah, I definitely think it's Mima, because like Mima was the whole beginning of this train ride for Daisy. She's the one who set her up with the mayor's son and was like, you know, this is good for the family, all of that, like, prodigious nonsense. And Daisy wanted nothing to do with it, but she had to because she lives with Mima. So it's kind of like that rosary she's holding is like kind of burned into her wrist in a way.
Excellent. All right, roll me 2d6.
2d6. Lerp. Yes, I got a 1.
All right, tell me what happens to this demon as the cross hits it. Excellent. And don't forget to switch your stats back.
So that lever gets 3. Okay, so the cross flies across the room, and at first is all wobbly and flat, and it looks like, and it turns in midair, and it looks like it's going to stab it, and then it turns again, and it just actually lands flat between the shoulder blades of the strong demon arms. And it like starts to sizzle and burn through the body as if it's not losing any trajectory. And it like melts it away.
Awesome. All right. So as it melts away, you bits and pieces of it start flaking off, and you can kind of feel this room starting to fill up with just anguish and pain, as all the pain that this thing has stolen away from people over the years is starting to just like flood out at once. And you see the ice demons and the people who are in these chairs with this stuff in their arms, they start to just like shake, and it looks like they're all going to start coming awake. What do you all do?
I think Essie kind of like shakes awake and is blinking and looks like still a little sad and confused. But seeing those things up and seeing Daisy having thrown it is like, we gotta get out of here, like, is mainly her thing. So I think she'll just kind of like try and take off running, or at least encourage running.
Daisy's on your heels, 100%. She's done with this room.
Okay, Antonio?
Antonio as well.
And Dusty, like, also, you know, now that there's just this like feeling of angst and pain in the room, like Dusty's enthusiasm for what might have happened is fading, but she's definitely going to have like a quick look around for anything she might want to steal in here before she like hightails it out.
I think it's not something you see that you want to steal, but you recognize an old friend in one of the chairs and they're like halfway gone into this ice demon form. Who is it, and how do you feel when their eyes open and you lock your gaze here?
Young Missy Burke. I haven't seen her in a long time. I mean, we did have a big falling out, so I think that I'm like okay with her becoming a demon, basically. Like, I always thought she was pretty mean. She said some things about my mother that I didn't appreciate.
Do you want to put a bullet in it as you run past?
No, I mean, it seems like she's having a pretty bad time. I think I'm just going to leave her to it.
Savage. Okay. All right. Excellent. So yeah, you all pile out of this car as you hear the clinkling of ice and the breaking of these, or snapping of the tubes with the fluid in them. And you slam the door behind you, and rush into the next car and wish you hadn't. It is the worst smell that has ever hit you in your life. And y'all are farm hands. Like, y'all have clean stalls, but this is gross. There are 2 rows of stalls going all the way down this car with a narrow passageway in the middle. Big, thick iron bars on all of them. And just jutting out into the feed bins there on either side are these like overgrown cattle and just mutated sheep heads and goats. And it is clear that these stalls have never been cleaned ever. And the worst part about it is the food troughs. They're just full of entrails and body parts and rotting meat. And these cattle have sharp teeth instead of teeth for grinding grain. And they have glowing green eyes. And storming down the hallway in front of you is this scrawny, 9-foot-tall, rednecky looking young feller with a pitchfork in its hand and a bucket of slop. And he's like, "What y'all doing in here? This ain't no place for passengers. This is where we prep the meat for y'all to eat."
I think Essie just goes, "Just passing through," and like tries to be like, "We're not even here. Don't even bother. Don't even worry about it."
Okay. Give me give me a sinner roll since you're lying.
Ooh.
Or since you're like trying to like, I don't know, maybe you're not.
We are passing through.
You are passing through, I guess, but
Yeah. I guess being
well, like,
and I mean, she looks like she's wearing like farmhand stuff. I think she just kind of like gives the nod and is like just passing through. Yeah, just sort of tries to shoulder by him and like gesticulate everybody through. So yeah, I can do.
Let me look at the definitions for sinner rogue again.
I mean, if you want sinner actions, I got sinner actions ready.
What you got?
I just think what Antonio will do is walk past the what you call him, like the guy who's tending all this stuff, and grab him by the shoulders and just like rough him and bury him headfirst into the slop, and just try to walk past.
Okay.
And just like get out of our way.
All right.
God,
Essie, are you okay with Antonio taking that role then instead?
Totally. I mean, I could see her being like, "We're just passing through," and then Antonio's like, "I don't have time for this."
Yeah. You're just like, we're passing through, and I'm just like, grunt.
Okay. Antonio, give me your brute force here.
All right.
Sinner.
Let's see. I'd say that's just a punishment. No motivations. So 2d6. That is a 2 and a 6.
Okay, so you got it. You smash him into the bars, and he just goes down kind of hard. And I think you can all get by if you want. Dusty, as you're kind of going by, though, you see a gold watch kind of topple out of this creature / person's pocket and land in the grossness on the ground. Do you pick it up?
Yeah, I think I try and like just sort of kick it up with my toes and catch it in my hand.
Okay.
Can I try and catch it before you do?
Sure.
Excellent. Roll me sinner, Daisy.
I want the gold watch. What's my sinner at?
Yeah.
So it is 3 and below. Is that 2d6s?
Yeah, 2d6.
Here I go. Yes, I got a 3.
Okay, so that equals. So you catch it, Daisy, in your hand, and it pops open, and all of you, instead of just using it, everyone sees what's in the watch, and it doesn't tell you what time it is. It's like a stopwatch, and you immediately know, Daisy, that it is telling you how much time left you have to live.
Jesus Christ! Sorry.
And Daisy, how much time is that?
Like in general, like the whole, I would say maybe like 3 years.
3 years? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're gonna live for 3 years longer. You know this now. That's it. That's all you got.
Is the clock stopped? Is it moving? Is it ticking?
It's ticking. You can see the time moving, and you all can kind of see that it says that somehow you can see like the dials there that it's 3 years. You don't know what it means to you, but it definitely means something to Daisy. You see a look go across.
And I just know, I like with a feeling that this is how much time I have left.
Yeah. You're gonna have to
filled with anguish for Jazz.
Yeah, you're gonna have to make that time count. So is there anything else you all want to do in this slop-filled gross car, or do you want to just hightail it out of here? You can hear some shouting and alarms kind of coming from behind you on the train.
Yeah, Yeah, I think she'd do maybe a scan but the watch they got from this person. So yeah, I think Essie is just pulling her coat around her face a little bit and still and heading forward, kind of like gesticulating at Antonio, like, come on. in case he's trying to like leap out a window or like ransack a stall or something like that.
Okay. I think I have an idea for a flashback
Okay.
because I'm really tilting over there with the sinner and lover imbalance. So let's say that we're here in this sort of like pen of cows and slop, and cinematically speaking, the scene transitions into, instead of cows, like, instead of hell cows, like peacefully grazing. Excuse me. It is a slaughterhouse that mirrors like the architecture of this cart, and you see Antonio and his fellow Furies, um, sort of laying punishment on sinners for the Lord of Darkness, and he and another Fury, let's call her. I'll come up with a name soon, but let's call her something. Uh, uh, let's call her Lucia. All right, Lucia and Antonio are having a conversation about how the instructions from the Lord of Darkness have um, gone too far, when we're no longer punishing people to mete out justice. We're just doing it for our own perverse amusement. And while this is not supposed to be a pleasant place, and while we're not exactly sensitive to that stuff, it's like meeting punishment and misfortune on sinners has become a game of one-upmanship, and they sort of plan their rebellion, and that sort of like is what leads to the formation of the Renegade Fury Gang. And I think that is a flashback I'll have that will bring up my sinner. Does it reset it or bring it up?
So I'm gonna give it to you. You move one from one to the other.
Got it.
But usually you're supposed to do a sacrifice to move from sinner to lover. But that was a great flashback. So we'll just move that point for now, and no worries moving forward. But next time, if you need to move another one, you got to sacrifice something.
Oh, what's a sacrifice like? Like, help me visualize that.
You have to sacrifice by making a costly sacrifice for another soul. So you would have to help out a soul on the train, or like, take a bullet for somebody or something like that.
Sorry, my bad. I was talking about the flashback in the chat, and I'm like, oh right, the flashback is how that happens, isn't that?
when we go to the other cattle pen that's full of human cattle, I'll make sure to do it.
Yeah, but don't worry about it for this one. So Dusty, you are the first one out of this horrible smelling cattle car here, and you step out onto the next car, and it is a gigantic tanker. And it's round, circular, and there's an iron ladder that goes up to the top, and you're gonna have to walk across the top of this thing. Do you just go like all business, just start climbing up? What do you kind of do?
Yeah, I think that Dusty's just like muttering to herself, like, first she steals my ice demon, then she steals my gold watch. What's the next thing? And then just like without really thinking about what she's doing, just starts climbing the ladder.
You get to the top, and you notice there's like a little bit of light right where the ladder is kind of welded on to the big tanker. There's like a little crack in the tanker, and you can see just a little sliver of light, and a little bit of liquid is coming down. What do you do? You muted.
Thanks. Does the liquid have a smell? I sniff it.
Yeah, it does. It smells like a forest clearing on a clear night. It smells so good after that last car.
Oh no! The like are the others coming up the ladder behind me?
They're still down there, kind of like catching their breath and like, maybe dry heaving a little bit or something. I don't know. They're not all the way up to.
Well, I'm just gonna yell down like, I have some bad news. It smells great up here.
Okay. Are you going to taste it?
No, because like I think that something that smells good in hell is like the scariest thing possible. I'm terrified of what is happening here. I'm not touching that.
Okay. All right. So you look down the top of this car from where you were at the top, and you see that halfway down is like this big round circular like opening on top where they obviously pour stuff in.
Mhm.
And instead of it just being like locked with a padlock, there's like 5 people like that have been laid across it, and then their arms and legs are like chained to either side of it to prevent anything from opening. Like you'll have to hurt these people probably to get in there if you want to get in there. But other than that, it looks clear. You could probably just like climb across them and then like get to the other end of this car.
So I look down, and I just yell, "All right, way's clear. Let's go."
Okay. Who's next up the ladder?
Can I ask my gun what it thinks?
Howdy, miss.
Hold up, y'all. Hey, yo, what do you?
You're like holding it up to your ear.
Yeah, I'm just like, so what do you think about this? What is this dangerous?
You're on a train to hell.
I mean, okay, aside from the obvious, relatively speaking, should we? I'll just.
You mean walking across a train car that's going like 600 miles an hour? That part is dangerous, or which part is dangerous?
Okay, how about I'll just have you out, and then if I need you, I'll let you know. Okay, just like be ready. In general, and then.
I'm a gun. I'm always ready. You just pull the trigger.
And then she just starts climbing, climbing up the ladder.
And you're like clank, like
Yeah.
smacking it, and it's like, hey, that's mother of pearl.
Yeah,
That is sandalwood. You are scratching me. Put me back in the holster when you climb.
You're gonna. I thought you were ready at all times. She's like, she's.
Muttering.
Does your
Are you- Are you spoiled? Is that what I'm hearing?
Oh,
Are you spoiled from being in that holster for too long? I really should have taken you out more.
I'm not sure if I'm talking to you anymore. And then you get to the top and you smell that beautiful forest smell, and you can kind of see this bright, shining light kind of trickling down the side.
Ooh. If there's a hole, can I see anything in it, or it's just like light is really, really
It's
bright?
like a little tiny crack, and there's like this little kind of brightish liquid that's like almost luminescent, kind of trickling down.
Yeah. I think she sort of looks at the gun and looks at it and is like, I don't know if I need any more supernatural weirdness than is what is already happening. She's like, if I get us in trouble, I'm gonna take the gun off even more. And is like just kind of looks over to where Dusty's heading off, and it is like just kind of like takes off in that direction. Like, see, look, I'm being reasonable, and like tries to stick the gun in the holster a little bit and sort of pats it. Like, there, is that better? Okay.
It's like,
Does your gun have a name?
It doesn't. I think you see a head stick over. She's like, I tried. I asked it, and it was like, no, it didn't want a name. So like, we're looking for one.
I think Daisy's gonna be like, "Are you possessed? Should I use the power of Christ on you?"
I think she pauses and looks slightly thoughtful and is like, I don't know yet, but like, I'll let you know. Keep that offer on the ready.
Sure thing.
Okay.
Yes,
Keep Christ ready.
Yeah. Thanks. You really got us out of those scrapes, Daisy. And she just.
I'll be sure to keep Jesus in my pocket.
Okay.
how are y'all doing? Do you want another break real quick? Yeah. We're like 5 after the hour. Are we okay with a short 5-minute break? Or
Yeah.
anybody
Sure.
need longer than that? Okay, cool. We'll be back at 10 after. Shane, is Adam Murphy still alive? Or did the sheriff kill him?
Yeah, I think he's in jail.
Okay, cool.
Or at least Dusty thinks he's in jail.
Okay, I'm here.
You're muted, right?
Daisio and Antonio, you're both at the bottom of the ladder, looking up. Which one of you is going to go first?
I go.
Yeah, I follow.
Okay. Antonio, you get to the top and you see this little shimmering trickle. And as a fury, you immediately know what this is.
Yikes.
It's moonshine. But it's not liquor. It's bottled moonlight.
Oh.
It's the essence of moonlight. And if you drink it, it will guide you through any darkness. And they have a whole tank full here. But there's like 4 people who are still alive, from what you can tell, that are chained across the opening if you want to get some. I mean, you can take a little taste here, but to get enough to have it do anything, you're going to have to cut these people up and get inside.
We cut what up? I'm sorry, I'm not sure how what I mean.
So you climb to the top of this ladder and you look down the tanker car. And in the middle, there's a large cylinder where they pour stuff into the tanker car, right? Like this big opening on top. And it's got a lid. And then strapped across the lid are like 4 different bodies. And their arms are chained and their legs are chained. So you would have to like cut them off, or do something to get them free if you want to actually get in here.
Oh, I mean, I'll be honest and say that, I could walk past this, but dramatically speaking, where's the fun in that? I think, you know what? I think what Antonia does is run a finger and sort of taste it and, see what that's like.
What does moonlight taste like? I mean, it smells like a clearing, a fresh forest clearing.
Mm-mm. You know what? Okay, so it tastes like a fresh forest clearing, and Antonio is very tempted by it. But then he remembers, he goes, "This is not my reward," and moves past it.
Excellent. Daisy, are you going to taste this moonlight as you move past it, or just kind of ignore it?
I think I'm more concerned about the bodies. I think Daisy's gonna oh my God, there's people over there that need help.
They dead, Daisy.
Are you sure they dead? They could be drunk. I see drunk people play dead all the time to get out of a tab.
Okay, Daisy, you bend down at the bodies here, and they are people, and they are alive, but they are on their way to the underworld, which means they probably died in the real world. But the face that you see is the outlaw staring right at you.
I slap him. Hey! You can't drink on this train like this.
Get me off of here!
Are you going to help me get what I need?
Sure!
Do you promise?
Yeah, cross my heart!
With my rosary hand, I take their hand. And do you duly swear to me that you will help me get what I need?
Give me a lover roll.
All right. What the hell is that at? Where's my 2 and a below? Ooh.
And I think
I'm at 1 scar.
you could say, since I'll give you you're motivated by either your greed or your love here, since you're trying to.
Yeah, I'm trying to get to the money.
Actually,
to get
I'll give them both to you.
All right, sweet. So what does that mean again? I get more dice.
3d6. Yeah.
Nice. Here I go. Praise to Jesus. Yes, Jesus.
All right. So he said, "Yeah, I'll help you out, and I'll even try to make up for the thing I did to your dad. I'm sorry about that."
Oh, that's me.
Wait, sorry, I'm getting mixed up.
Daisy's like, I don't know what you're talking about, but it lifts him out of You must have drank way too much.
I love that, You've actually recruited like my nemesis who has now promised to help you.
And like I have no idea, so I'm like hand holding this demon, feral demon. I like look, I got us one of these guys, another one, because we got Antonia. I haven't forgotten about you, but we got another friend who's gonna help us.
So you, how do you break the? Maybe you have something to break the chains off, but you get a.
I use the Bible.
Oh yeah, it just burns through. Yeah. Essie, what's the outlaw's name?
I think it's something. Let's see. Like Solomon Flash or something like that.
Solomon is a good name. Okay.
Yeah.
So Solomon follows you down, Daisy, to the end of this tanker car, and that's where you find Dusty, kind of down. I think you're down on one knee, kind of trying to keep from alerting the giant form that you see sitting on an iron throne on the back of the engine. This engine is humongous. It's just this like gigantic open pit of kind of gray swirling fire, and there is a kind of coal car between the tanker you're on and the engine, except for instead of coal in there, there's this like weird like screaming noise of pain, which is somehow in liquid form, and there's like a chain gang working to go back and forth with buckets, and they're like dipping it into the coal car, and they're coming and pouring the screams of the damned into the fire of this furnace to keep the train going. And the Vulture Queen is just sitting, just black and gray and silver feathers, a huge red beak, I think like the big orange like the vulture neck is kind of hanging there, and there are there's a couple of smaller crates down at its feet, and it's got its foot on one of them, and it's just sitting there looking bored, and every once in a while it's just like whipping the chain gang for no reason. They're going as fast as they can. But Daisy, yeah, you show up right behind Essie with Solomon.
We like new friends here.
Do you introduce Solomon to the group?
Yeah, I think Daisy's just like, so I went ahead and I did go look at those bodies. And I did get us a new friend here who's going to help us get what we need. And I gesture. Introduce yourself, new friend.
And Solomon's like, my name's Solomon. Pretty good with a gun. If you got an extra. And then he locks eyes with you.
Yeah. I think yeah, before anybody can do anything, she's already run up to him and she has him by the collar and she's got her gun out pointed in his gut, and she's like, you have anything you want to say to me or to this gun?
And the gun's like, again?
Shut up. We're doing this is the big dramatic moment.
I killed him once already. Let me do it again.
You did? What? Sorry, I think she's like, what? Like, did you shoot my father? Did he have this? Wait, we found him. I thought you got away. Because he was dead.
And Solomon is like, yeah, I killed your dad, but and then he makes a grab for the gun. What do you do?
I think she just tries to jerk it out of the way and like move so that he just stumbles forward instead.
Okay. Give me a roll. Let's do this sitter.
Okay. Exciting. Is it
take a scar?
Yeah, I think I would. I was gonna say, could it be prophecy since it's about the gun?
Sure, yeah.
But,
And take a scar, and that'll be 3d6.
oh boy. Okay. I think, I just kind of like over her dead body. Is she gonna let him? Hopefully, that's not true. Let him get this gun. Again, oh boy. Oh yeah. There's a 3 is the highest one, or is the lowest one.
Yeah, so what happens is he lunges for the gun and grabs it, and you like try to pull back out of his way, and both of you topple off the end of the train car into the swirling mass of screams below. And Dusty, you see Essie falling down in a struggle with Solomon, and the gun goes off, and you see the gigantic figure of the Vulture Queen stand up and go, and turns with its whip, which looks like it could probably reach all the way back here to get you. What are you going to do, Dusty?
So first of all, I say to Daisy, what did we say about picking up stragglers in hell? Didn't we agree?
I had no idea. I'm so sorry. Oh my god. No, don't take the Lord's name in vain. Hold up.
But then she turns back towards this hulking mass, and she kind of had a feeling that something like this might happen. And like right back when we first got on this train, when we were fighting those Furies, she took a special trick shot. She measured the like curvature of the track out. She took a shot out the window with the intent that, an hour or so in the future, the train would like catch up with the bullet, and it would be in the exact right place to like take out the Vulture Queen. And so she's going to see right now if that shot is going to land. But before she does, she's going to have a flashback to the moment she met Hardcase Adam Brown when he first tried to steal her mother's car. And she kind of caught him. They had this scene very much like the opening scene in the movie Bonnie and Clyde. He seduced her. She entered into this life of crime and embarked on the pathway in life that has led her to this moment when she's desperately hoping that a bullet she fired is going to land in the exact right spot. So my intent, if that's okay, is that will bounce my, that will bump my what is it, sinner up.
Yep.
To a 4.
And do you want to take a scar?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
All right. So I'm going to roll 3d6.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking for, well, ideally 3 or lower.
Just barely. So tell me what happens when the Vulture Queen gets hit by a bullet that it cannot even conceive of coming at it.
I don't know. I think that I think that Dusty doesn't find out because she turns to deal with the Vulture Queen, but then she's just turns back. Actually, Daisy, we need to talk about this some more. You're being such a liability on this train.
I lost my hat now.
Still thinking about your hat? What did
Antonio, you're the only one watching the Vulture Queen as Daisy and Dusty are yelling at each other, and Daisy's hat she's like, my hat! Or whatever. And the Vulture Queen just gets winged right in the neck by this golden bullet that comes flying across, out of nowhere. And it staggers to its knee. you're a fury, and the Vulture Queen, is one of the ancients that birthed your kind, and even a shot to its heart would probably not kill this thing forever. What are you gonna do? It's on one knee. You could probably, if you were quick, try to get past it to one of those crates and see if that's where the angel wings are at. Or you can try to take this thing down.
I have a question. Is Essie out of the picture? Because I was hoping to lunge for her.
Oh, by all means. You see her drop into the screams, but you can jump right in after.
Yeah, I think what happens is Antonio, elongates himself to try to catch Essie before she falls. I don't think he's going to be able to get the gun for her, but just Essie. Let's see. So that would be a sinner or a lover. Oh, you're muted, try.
You know that what is in there is extremely dangerous. And this could theoretically eat you away because of what you are. And so to do this, you are taking an extreme amount of danger. So I just want to give you that option, and I'll let you shift 1 point if you want, as from your sinner to your lover here. If you want, but you're gonna have to take a scar on this roll.
Let's do it
and get a die.
All right, that's 1d6, 2d6,
2d6.
That's it, 2d6.
Yep.
All right, let's roll. Thank the Lord Jesus. It's 2 and 3.
So tell me, first tell me about the pain as the screams of the damned start just ripping through your very essence. And then tell me how you pull Essie out here.
Sure. So as Antonio leans, sort of turns into a sort of semi-solid goo and tries to lean forward to catch Essie. The screams buffet against his physique, and you can see his essence just sort of tearing apart, and you can see not really a skeleton, but sort of more black twigs that are imagine if instead of being made of solid solid bone, it's made of dark branches. That is his skeleton, and so he's being torn apart by the screams as he grabs Essie and sort of lifts her out, and in a fit of pain and desperation, twists himself and throws Essie with both arms over back to the train while trying to reform himself onto the top.
Are you throwing Essie forward onto the engine towards the crates with the angel wings, or are you throwing her back onto the tanker car that you're on top of?
It's an act of desperation. So I think whatever he can manage, if it means bringing her to the next cart, by all means.
Yeah, I think that the momentum is going that way. So you kind of bump her forward, and she sprawls. And Essie, the gun is still in your hand, but all that is left of Solomon is his hand clutching the gun, and the rest of him has been kind of eaten away by these screams. But you're laying there with your flesh kind of burning, not like fire burning, but just like feels like it's been blasted by sand or acid or something a little bit. And you look up, and the Vulture Queen is right in front of you on one knee. What do you do?
I think she sort of is still, that was really, really, really harrowing, like seeing Solomon dissolve kind of in front of her and getting the screams tearing at her. I think she sort of like coughs off to the side and is like, that's about all the vengeance that I ever want to experience, but this doesn't feel like that. And she's gonna raise the gun up and just try and shoot the Vulture Queen again, straight in the middle, and be like, if anything was gonna shoot true, this is it. And I think just kind of tries to shake the hand off and like shoot there. I think she's not she's like, okay, cool. I don't need to be I don't need to live it, but this feels like the right thing to do here. To stop some of this pain and horrifying stuff happening, maybe.
All right, are you going to take another scar?
Yeah. Why not? Okay. Yes. And yeah, I think she's like, is that okay with you, Antonio? She says to the gun.
Antonio. I can like that. Let's see what we got.
Okay.
So roll 3d6 because this is your prophecy
3?
here.
Oh, shoot. Okay, I rolled 2. Do I just add one more?
Yep.
Wait, I'll just roll 1. Hopefully this is... That was a 4, a 3, and a 6. Wait. Was that with lovers since I'm defending people? Or was that with...
I think it's more sinner, like act with brutality.
But it's against the big bad. Wait, was it a 4th?
We can make a lover, but I think
it's okay. It's okay if it's a center roll, then it's a center roll. That makes sense.
I think we got to decide this and then have you roll again.
Oh, okay. Whoops.
Did I give her that bullet I had in the Bible that has the cross in it burned onto it?
Yeah. What did you do with it?
I had it in my pocket with the jewels that I got off of me mall. I'm gonna take it out. Wait, Essie, and I hand her the bullet. This was in the Bible.
You're gonna have to throw it because there's like a coal car between you two.
I will toss it as far as my little arms can toss it.
Excellent.
Okay. Grab it and load that puppy up.
All right. So do you want this? Tell me where Essie is coming from on this roll. Is this protecting or is this like, I'm going to destroy this thing?
I think she's thinking that this is the like generative heart of the person who's creating this like horrifying situation that she just dragged through. And yes, it's a train to hell, but maybe if she can stop this, then it'll protect everybody else from like not dying. And like maybe if the train to hell stops, like it'll stop some of the suffering somehow. Like in her mind, this is the opposite of using like the gun for vengeance or something like that. In her mind, it is using violence as a method, but like she's kind of like, maybe this is what this was all about. Like if I can do this, this feels like it'll fulfill it, and then I don't have to do this again.
Okay.
Kind of a thing.
Go ahead and give me that lover roll. I think this will be holding on to hope with a magic bullet.
Oh man.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Tell me what happens with this magic bullet as it hits this wounded demon.
I think that the way it like shoots out, like it seems like it kind of goes in slow motion, you know. You follow the bullet through, sort of spiraling, like the camera kind of zooms in on the cross, and then as it impacts this vulture, that's sort of like this big percussive, I think there's a flash of light similar to the moonlight, but kind of brighter, almost like it's sunlight, that is just like exploding out from the chest of the Vulture Queen. And I totally, if this is the, like, if it still needs, if she's still alive, that's totally cool. But like, I think that it just kind of like like glows outward as it's like
As it
exploding.
disintegrates. Okay. Dusty, how do you feel? Like, you shot this shot off and like wounded this creature, and then you were so mad at Daisy that you didn't like turn around to finish your handiwork, and now Essie has used her little handgun here to take it down. Are you at all upset about that, or what do you do here?
No, I'm like happy. I'm not here for the glory. I'm here for those angel wings, and that suits me just fine. I turn my back on Daisy, and like just strut on down to pick up the angel wings.
Okay.
Wait for me! Wait for me!
Wait for you.
Excellent. All right. So you break open this crate, and inside are 4 pairs of the most soft, downy wings, and they look almost like something a kid would wear on Halloween. They've got like little like things that you can wrap them on you, and then maybe they grow. You don't know. But I think we've got like 24 minutes left. So what I'd like to do is kind of epilogue here, and you're on this train to hell, unless there's anything you want to do to the train before you like strap these things on and like fly away.
Can we hear the screams happening in the engine, or did the Vulture Queen exploding stop the...
I think the train is like starting to slow down because the chain gang has stopped, and they're all just kind of like looking around like, what do we do now? They're still all chained together. There's still that whole car full of screams like back there, but that you could power this thing with, but it's starting to lose a little bit of momentum, but it's got a while yet on the fuel that it's got already.
Okay.
Is there anything people want to do before you go?
I think Essie wants to pull one of the feathers off the angel wings and go drop it in the car full of screams to see what happens. Just to see if it can neutralize some of the situation.
Okay. Roll lover?
Oh wait, I succeeded on that one. So I...
No.
Ooh. Let's see.
I think Daisy in the back is like, that's coming out of your half.
Yeah, it's on her pair of wings, absolutely. Or is that like, would she know what would happen if she did that kind of thing? Or like, does it become apparent? I forget. Are there people in there screaming?
There's nothing in there. It's like the condensed.
Oh.
It's like a swirling mass of condensed pain.
Oh, okay. I think she would want to use the feather to kind of like pick the lock on some of the chain gang then, and see if like she can like
sure
do that.
I think that you have some tomboy blocking. That's totally fine. You can release the chain gang. They don't have any way off of this train. You have the only 4 pairs of angel wings here. Although Antonio can theoretically grow their own wings and fly away, so he could gift his angel wings to someone else, but that would be giving up the ticket to heaven.
So these are the only ways we're getting even off the train.
Well, unless you have some other plan that you haven't informed me about.
Oh, okay.
Dusty
or Daisy, any ideas here?
Daisy's using the wings to get off this train.
Yeah, I think Dusty's gone at this
Daisy's
point.
gonna take the Bible and like drop it in the screaming box and be like, "Let Jesus help you. Come on, we gotta go, Essie."
And I think at that point, yeah, just like I think the train, like this is bad. Like it just like the Bible with this like pure evil just starts like self-destructing and like bubbling over and foaming, and parts of the train start melting, and the giant bridge that you're on is starting to collapse.
Oh shoot.
Antonio,
Okay.
what do you do?
I put on the wings, and I know I have wings, but as I established earlier,
Hmm.
like
And I think when you put them on, they kind of like grow into you. Like
yeah,
the harness becomes part of you, and you actually get a little bit downy for a second, but then you start to kind of glow with light, and the individual feathers start to flake off into those metal plates.
yeah. I say, Antonio says, the people down here, they're criminals, people who ran out of time, or people who ran out of friends. The next time they, the next time God or the devil sends his people here, they'll find exactly what they expect to find. And I don't want to be here when that happens. So I plan to take these wings, go there, and let them welcome me as their own.
Before, is he currently like transforming and about to like shoot off if the wings are absorbing in?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think Essie runs over and tries to give him a hug before he vanishes, and it's just like I know you were a demon before, but like you were good even before these wings. And like and just gives him a hug of thanks for jumping in after her and saving her.
Cool.
Oh.
Yeah. And Essie reluctantly kind of strap the wings on as everything is blowing up and buckles them on like, okay, all right.
Not my fault.
Awesome. All right, Chase, why don't you give us an epilogue for Daisy? Where does Daisy go from here? You don't have to go to heaven with the wings. You can fly somewhere else.
Yeah, I think Daisy's gonna fly to Jasmine, and I think she's gonna take her Mima's jewels and sell them and get like the first boat east back to where Jasmine came from, because she's trying to run away from her situation in the U.S. And she's gonna look over Jasmine, and she's gonna give her the wings because she knows that she only has 3 years, and she wants to make sure that she sees Jasmine later.
Awesome. All right. Antonio?
Yes.
Do you want to give us a little epilogue?
I think the epilogue we get is Antonio walking, walking through the gates of heaven. And I'll leave it a little bit impressionistic. Let everyone enjoy their own vision of what heaven is in this, messed up world. And when Antonio does that, I think the way heaven works is very they don't question the fact that they've never met this angel before. They just assume that if they have it, then it must be. You know what I mean? Because that's how, I guess, draconian heaven is. And when he does, he is embraced and greeted and kissed by the other angels. And there's sort of a like devilish smirk and a glint in his eyes that tell you that the story's not over.
Excellent. All right. Dusty.
So we see smoke rising from a bullet hole in the chest of Sheriff Murphy, where he lies slumped against the wall of the jailhouse. And Dusty has just, taken his keys and walked across to unlock the cell where Hardcase Adam Brown is lying on his bunk. And Hardcase looks up at Dusty and says, "I knew you'd come." And she looks back at him and says, Well, let's do that thing you wanted to try that time, and unzips her gingham pinafore, and that's the end.
Excellent. All right, Essie.
I think that you see like the back of a yard that's kind of a little bit scrubby, like someone has tried to grow grass on it and hasn't gone super well, and you kind of see this like poof of like wind, and then you see these like old work boots landing and like walking back toward this house, and Dusty has just flown back home, and she's not flown off anywhere in particular. And on her way into the house, you can hear her talking a little bit. Sounds like she's talking to herself, and she's like, "No, I know that was fantastic, but you know, you're too dangerous to let get anywhere else. But I'm not planning to use you for much either. But how about we try and like do something good together?" And you see like this gun beautifully like polished and set up like on a mantle, and like it's there like in this place of honor, but she's hung it up and she's put it there, and she's not gonna like go run away and try and be an outlaw. But it's got the best like gun oil, and it's and on the nameplate scrawled under it, it just says like Antonio in big letters. And like her mom is like, what's going on? She's like, no worries. And is very cheerful and satisfied about like helping her mom out with the ranch. And I think you see that it grows and it gets like better, and they're like, for some reason, um I think if she still had them after using them to fly, like for some reason they had this influx of money that they were able to invest in the ranch to make it like a better place. And like any of her younger siblings, she's able to give them a better life instead of just piecing out of Dodge, makes it a better place for them. That her dad wasn't able to because he listened to the whisper instead. Even though it gets grumpy sometimes, and like sometimes she has headaches or has to go out, around, even though Antonia is not super happy about everything, she's happy about not following that. The angel of the harvest, I like that too. Maybe she goes on like little trips occasionally once in a while, and it just has to go on a little trip and comes back.
Excellent. All right. Well, I'm going to end the broadcast real quick. Thank you for those great epilogues.